State Representative Geanie Morrison of District 30 recently announced she will not seek re-election. 25 News Now Don Brubaker joins us now with Representative Morrison. Don?
Thank you, Adam, and welcome back.
Thank you, Don. Thank you.
Different situation for us this time, but before we get to that, you've been in the House now almost a quarter of a century, and I want to find out one piece of legislation that you're most proud of.
Oh goodness, it's very difficult, but the one I definitely am most proud of is the Baby Moses project. The one that it was really one of those interesting things for a freshman legislator to be approached about something that was so horrific and to do research on it. And so we passed the first Baby Moses law in 1999, my freshman year. We did not know we were the first state to pass it. And then we helped all the 50 other states to pass the same legislation. And it's been something that I've been so proud of, and all the people that we've worked with to make sure that that happened and save all those babies and the mothers too.
What would be your greatest accomplishment to help the constituents in District 30?
You know, one of the things that's really important to me is education. I chaired the higher education for 3 sessions back in 1923 and under Speaker Craddock. And so higher education was really important. We made a lot of changes. You know, back when I was chairing higher education, we did not have one school in the state of Texas that was in the top 50. Wow. Even Texas A&M or University of Texas, either one, because the way the funding was, they just could not compete. And so we did a lot of legislation those 3 sessions that I chaired higher education, and now look where we are. And we have a robust higher education community and a lot more research than we used to have too.
Why is it not the time to run for a 14th term?
Well, you know, I just felt like I've enjoyed what I'm doing with constituents. That's been a joy. I've been so honored to have this position and to be here as long as I have. But I'm not going to go away. I'm going to stay very involved in Victoria and in the community, and also politically. And so I just felt like it was time. We have had 2 very tough sessions, the last 2 legislative sessions. This year we have been in session literally all year into December, which, as you know, that we talked about, has never happened in the state history ever. And so it was just time for me to do some other things that I am looking forward to doing at this time.
Well, during this year, this very long year, I mean, how much did you start thinking even more about not running for re-election, just because of how things turned out this year?
Well, it really started 2 sessions ago, because the last 2 sessions have been very difficult, but I've enjoyed it. I felt like that it was time that when I came in, everything was done in a different manner. And I felt like it was time for me and for some of my other colleagues that things were just different, and it's not exactly the same process and procedure. And I just have other things too that I would like to do. And so I thought, you know, I think it's time for me to move on, but stay very involved and still help our community. I love this community.
Why is it different in the legislature, and how is it different from the first, maybe even decade that you served?
I think the hardest thing is when I first came into the legislature, it was Democrat control. So my first 2 legislative sessions, Pete Laney was the speaker and he was a Democrat, but everyone really worked together very well. And that's the thing that I'm really concerned about, and I want to help others to get back to working together again. I just feel like we're very polarized in the state, and our nation we're very polarized, and I don't want to see that happen here in Texas. And so I do want to help with elections, and I want to help just help people understand exactly what the legislature does and how it's supposed to work. And that's something that I'd like to work on too, but I just feel like that the whole process has changed a lot over the last several years, and I hope it gets back to where everyone gets along and works together again.
Your thoughts about bills that have not been passed? We're talking about school vouchers, teacher raises, school security. When do you think that might come up once again in the legislature?
I know the governor is, this is something that he's wanted to do since he first became governor. This is not anything new. This is something actually that Tom Craddock, who was speaker many years ago, said started many years ago. But I think a lot of it has to do with what parents are asking for. They're looking for some say in their children's education. But also, I'm a big proponent of public education. I mean, my children went to public education. I did also. It's very important. But there needs to be some options for some children that need something else that just cannot be offered. And so it's something that's it's not new. It really isn't. I mean, it's been going on for a long time. I think every time there's a legislative session, everybody thinks, well, this is something new. But when I was in the first session, a gentleman that I sat with that was a Democrat next to me, and there'd be a bill coming up on the floor, and I'd say, oh my goodness, well, look at this bill. He said, we've had this one several times. He said, it's not new. So, I mean, all legislation is not always new, but it's something that Texas has been working on for a long time. It's not something that just popped up.
Right. We thank you so much once again for coming in, for your time and your views. We appreciate it. Don't be a stranger, okay?
Oh, no, absolutely. I'll come back anytime you want me.
All right.
You know that, Don.
Excellent.
Love
All
to be
right.
with you.
Thank you, Representative Morrison. All right, Adam, back to you.